This is a new era, bringing it all together. Getting the right mind, we grind, we do it forever. That's the only mission. Elevated thinking is a vision. Yeah, I'ma keep moving if this don't hit. You can't stop me when I hop aboard the spaceship. Sit and watch as I make shit. I am not a human, I'm a living constellation.
Yeah, darling.
I never tell people. I just hit record. And then,
I know.
And then we're rolling. And then we're recording, and then Kayla's like, what the hell?
And that's exactly what I sound like.
I mean, that was a very poor...
I was thinking about it one day, and it would be funny to have us all, like, do impressions of each other. Would be
Oh, no.
hilarious.
Oh, no.
I was like, yeah, anyways. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Kayla.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. This is really cool to come on. Thanks. Thanks for suggesting I pop on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I mean, seeing you supporting and appreciate it as always, and glad to have you now in the hot seat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, wait. And I meant to actually follow up with you, but I guess ADHD, but it works out because now we're on the podcast. So how was your show last night?
It was okay. It was more of an open mic than it was. It was
Okay.
a little bit of a glorified show. It was a mic. It was the first time doing it in the city, so it was good. It was another learning curve.
Which are good.
Yeah, they're very good, right? So, I mean, I just, for the first time, I felt like, I was like, I wanna punch it up. I wanna get better at it. You know what I mean? I didn't bomb, but I saw people that I was with the night before, just like, they were just so upset with themselves because they thought they hadn't done well. Like, they were ready to hang it up, and they came in last night and murdered it. And I was like, you know what? I was kind of average both nights, maybe just par. And I'm like, that makes me wanna go in a little harder with it.
Okay.
And it was like he was saying, like ADD, like my time to do it is when I'm on an open mic, but you gotta practice, you know what I mean? Not just in the studio, not just on the stage, whether you're with other comics or not. It's, you're constantly like, you gotta watch tapes like an athlete. What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
What did I do right?
Yeah.
We got some more coming up, so.
That's exciting.
Yeah, but it's just like getting out here. Like there was a mic Monday, there was a mic Tuesday, and now I'm here. So it's just that constant,
That's good.
constant grind, yeah.
Okay, and the Tuesday one, is that the one at the safe or was that a different one?
Last night was at the Point over in the North End.
Oh no, are they still doing the comedy nights at the safe?
Oh yeah, they're still
Tuesdays?
doing that. Yeah, Safe seems to have something going on every night now. But yeah, there's a couple people that are regulars over there. Casey Woods is over there.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Casey.
shout out to Casey.
I don't remember what episode number he was on, but he was on this.
Yeah.
Episode number,
Probably 56, 57, I think.
was it?
Somewhere around there,
Okay.
I think. Maybe.
That's how I connected with the show and connected with you. I saw he was on, started following.
Yes,
you,
okay,
started following the
right.
pod. Yeah,
Right.
he's hilarious and he's a
Oh, I
genuinely
love
good guy.
Casey. He's phenomenal. Yeah,
Yeah.
we go way back. He's wonderful.
Yeah, but yeah, they're still doing this. I haven't been to the Safe in a couple of months, and I'd like to get back. But they always got something going on now. They have an open mic for hip hop artists, and there's a gentleman there named Pipe Dreams. I think he hosts.
Yeah.
couple
I've heard of Pipe Dreams.
Yeah.
I think I follow him.
He was doing stuff at the Concept 6.
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
There.
Yep.
Words.
Mm.
Words. But yeah.
That.
Pipe Dreams. Oh, so he moved. Well, I don't want to say he moved over there, because he's probably doing both. Because he was doing something on Thursdays, I think, too, at Concept 6. I think they had it
I
on
don't think Concept 6 is open anymore.
where we did the Lowell show.
Mm-hmm.
That's not open anymore?
Yeah, they closed up not too long ago.
What the heck? We just did the Town and City Festival over there.
I know, it sucks because like
What
they
the-
had, in my opinion, I thought they had something really amazing going on there. And I loved the people. The people were great. Like the regulars, the owner, just the artists, like they were great. So it's sad to see that, but yeah, then.
That's weird. That's like the second time.
Yeah.
Because it was, what was it before? The art.
Uncharted.
Uncharted.
Uncharted was dope.
Similar concept, because you have the art and everything, and that's super dope. And
It's
then
such a great place for shows, and like
Yeah.
I had a
It's
great
low
time
key.
at your show. That was fun.
Yeah. because I've done a couple shows there, and it's been great. Just the vibe of it.
But now it seems like the place to be is Taffeta.
Taffeta?
Yeah, that's over in like the Western Ave space.
Where's Western? Why
So
am
it used
why
to
is my
be,
mind
I think it
blanking?
used to be called the Onyx Theater or something like that. Western Ave is over off of School Street. There's
Yep.
I think it's Navigation Brewing. There's
Yeah.
like all artist
Yeah.
studios, and I think people live there as well.
Is that the like mill or whatever, the big
Yes.
brick building? Oh, okay,
Yes.
yeah. My friend wanted to rent a space out there.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and there's amazing artists there. It's a great space. So now that theater is reopened, and it's called Taffeta. Cody Pope, I think. Cody Pope and Byron G either just had a show there or are performing there. I'm not sure.
Oh, I think I saw that advertisement too.
Right.
Or an advertisement. Which I'm assuming is for that.
So that's it. But I know they do comedy shows there as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of online. Xtina, she's a regular at the Safe. I think she has a lot of involvement with that. I see on social media she's doing it. There's a lot of people that are at the Safe and all over the place, like Fredo Cruz, Casey. They were all over there at Taffeta. I didn't even know where it was until you just said that.
Yeah, it's really close, and it looks really nice because I saw obviously people posting on Instagram like from different shows and whatever, and it looks really nice.
I have to check.
Gotta get up. Oh, we gotta get up in there.
I know.
What are we
I know.
doing?
We gotta do a Right Mind show.
What are we doing?
We gotta do a Right Mind show. That would be cool if we had comedy in it too, like a Right Mind show.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. Different, like when we talked with Freddie, with doing the video release and everything, and what y'all
Yeah,
are
just
doing,
how like
so.
what's happening?
I don't know, whatever y'all are doing. Remember
Yeah. Oh, I was like, wait, what's happening? Yes.
the release that you
Yeah.
are hosting.
October 14th at Scope.
I can't.
I'm sorry. I'm operating
I'm
at half capacity
I'm
for
kidding.
like the past month and a half, so I'm very sorry.
You're hosting
No, you're good.
something?
I'm hosting a video release event October.
You were the one
14th.
reminding him when it was because he thought for some reason that it was August 14th, which is clearly not.
Oh
the
my
case.
god, I'm like red as a tomato now. Okay, so retake. Yes, Sean. I am hosting an event at Scope October 14th. I believe it starts at 7:30 p.m. It's in Jamaica Plain. So Freddie's he's doing a video release. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, we're just like planning that, and I have that in the works. But what do you have going on?
That was a
That's
good
more
promo, by the way.
important.
Another problem.
I co-signed that promo. That was good.
What promo?
The one we just did
Oh,
for Freddie.
thank you. What promo? What show? Oh my God. Dear Jesus in heaven, Lord Jesus, be with your girl. I'm so sorry.
Help your girl.
Help your girl. I am. Sean, I promise I'm here. Anyway, so
This
what?
is raw. I love it.
100%. This is not
Guys
scripted
sipping on tea,
whatsoever.
It's very
There's
mellow.
this is tea. It's not even liquor. Like I'm
I'm relieved it's not.
actually sober and I can't even keep it together.
Here we are.
And I can't keep it together.
The Right Mind Wednesdays podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. Welcome.
That chamomile hits different, you know. It's,
Oh my God. And yeah, it's the herbal tea. What do you have going on coming up?
I have a show on Thursday over at the Fox and Hound in
Okay.
Quincy, Massachusetts.
Okay.
That's Steve Sweeney's spot. So local kind of legend dude over there, and Mike Trobus is hosting. There's going to be a lot of fresh new faces like mine that are going on. A lot of newer people. So that's the only thing I have set in stone now. There's a few others that are coming up, but nothing to. I don't want to say until it's
Yeah,
actually
that's-
happened until I see like the
For
poster.
sure.
Right, I got you. That's
Stuff like
exciting
that.
now that you
So-
have some stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of like I signed up with Mike to learn a little bit more of stage presence and what I've learned more than that is connecting with people. You know what I mean? It's like there is the art of it where, hey, you're rushing your punchline, you're rushing to the next thing, your mannerisms don't match with what you're saying, but there's been a lot of you learn a little bit of business too. You learn how to network and meet people. And last night was a cool night because it came full circle. Because when I quit drinking, I don't drink anymore. I quit drinking about a year ago, and I was like, what's there to do? What's there to do around Lowell and not, you know, turn
And not
into
go
Jack
to a bar.
Kerouac.
Yeah, and not go to a bar.
And I went up to see some comedy at L.F.E, and you know, Jen Millions, she's a local business owner up in L.F.E, and she started telling comedy. And I was like, I know of you probably don't know me. And she told me how she got started. She signed up with like some lessons from Mike, and then you know, a couple
Who's
months
Mike?
later, Mike Atrobus, I think he's a local guy.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he looks like a taller, older version of me. Tall, bald,
Okay.
wears glasses, beard, dad. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he's got a lot going on. Like he's constantly. He was up at MOCG a few weeks ago. I went up there and
Wow.
checked him out. He's constantly running like workshops and things
That's
like
great.
that. You know, he's running not just comedian workshops but host workshops. I was talking to my buddy Jacques Lambert. I think you guys know him. Earlier today.
Yeah.
You know, he was learning some hosting things from him. So just that, and then like he's learned from Steve Sweeney. So just meeting different people that's the big thing.
That's awesome.
Honing the craft is your own responsibility. You know what I mean? So,
That's a good point.
yeah. But it's just that, and then things like this. You know, like we talked about. You know, I think you and I connected because I saw a comedian on here, and that evolved into hip hop, mental health, and just we've had some good conversations.
So what, like, do you think mental health like plays into like why you do comedy, or?
Most definitely.
Okay.
So I start my skit out like my main stuff. I'm trying new stuff, but you know, I come on and I say, hey, I'm Shawn. I haven't drank in a year. I've been clean for a year, and you know, people start clapping. You know, my thing is, all right, you know, let's not do that. You know, all you're doing is putting my white privilege on display here. You know, it's kind of like all I have to do is not overindulge and be an asshole, and that deserves applause. You know, so
I mean,
there's some truth to it.
We're good.
Was I not supposed to swear?
No, you're
I should
fine.
have
You're
asked
fine.
that.
You're
Oh,
good.
honey.
I just
You're
okay. I meant to ask that, like right when
Okay.
I questioned one when I walked in the door. Can I swear? So yeah, I mean, you know, not drinking was a heavy thing, and it was like kind of like this is a big part of my identity now. I have to, and I'm introducing me. So I drank because of poor mental health, you know, or my drinking manifested to poor mental health. I don't know which one came first.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
were working
Personally,
progress.
speaking.
yeah, I was
personally.
like
Yeah.
probably one lends to the other, you know. When did your journey with
I've been sober 2 years, so August 7th.
okay.
2 years.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I was picking up
2
on
years.
that in your music too.
Yep. Let-go. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So mental health or comedy has helped in the mental health journey. Or you were saying that you normally start your skits with the sober.
Yeah, and it goes into there. It mostly stays on the path of drinking. There are a couple things where I do, you know, mention, you know, where I joke about religion and spirituality and how that plays it, and how, you know, when you're kind of on a 12-step kind of thing, you know, you give it up all to God, but then there's this thing where people like, well, you know, my sister, she's into spirituality, and she says it's because this planet's in retrograde and all this bullshit I don't understand. It's like, no. The thing that's going on right here, it's me. The problem is happening here on Earth. You know, a bipolar guy, and now my new condition that I'm suffering from called sobriety. So, you know, I touch on it a bit, you know.
Yeah. That makes sense though, because just your mind frame and everything changes from not being sober and being sober, and just how you maneuver and everything. So it's like a different. So it's a new personality.
It is a new part. I try not to. I really liked who I was when I stopped drinking. I was meditating, and I'm trying to stay in the routine, but you know, it's self-care. If you fall off your routine, you can't be hard on yourself. Meditation, prayer, and journaling, hydrating, grounding, It was all my thing, and I was such a happy person. And now I do feel like there is that medium where, you know, I kind of do still have a snarky, kind of a jerkish personality at times, and it's meeting in that middle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without substance. And just, you know, a little bit of self-love too.
Yeah, no, that's very important.
And if I didn't have the self-love, and if I was still drinking, I wouldn't do the mics, you know, it would have turned into kind of like what hip hop turned into me for, you know.
What's that?
I just, well, you know, I would always say I'm gonna go to the studio, I'm gonna rap, I would write, and I couldn't get it out. And I'd end up giving my studio time to somebody else, you know, that was like one of my guys. And, you know, that would kind of turn into, you know, we're in the studio and I'm already kind of feeling a little embarrassed or bad, so that would lead to a little self-indulgence and things like that. And, you know, I was connected with the right people, like Lotto and Wiz, Joyner Lucas's sound engineers and producers. And shout outs to them, by the way, for finding their own way and not leaning on him, because they're super dope. And I think it was Wiz one time, because I was bringing artists to him, like L.Y.F.E, and Wiz was like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I'm cool. He's like, yeah, but you do things for others. You connect people. What is it that's your art? What are you gonna do? And I wasn't hearing it at the time because of the drinking and stuff and self-doubt, which is,
it's a killer in itself.
Would
We
you
were
go
killing
into
it.
like A&R?
yeah.
Like, cause you definitely like have the ear for music. You're obviously like musically inclined. Like we have a lot of conversations based around music. So like,
And your guy over here needs some help.
I'm sorry, who?
Me.
But like that's so cool. That might be like an avenue.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about it. Like, there's just two guys that I really connected with, and we don't have much in common, but we were just kind of talking about. I feel like a ton of my stories are gonna be talking about. Well, I was drunk out of my mind, sorry. But like,
Hey, sometimes that's how it starts. And that's okay.
yeah, for sure. And I don't know, there was this big thing that was happening with a lot of artists because this guy knew this guy. And long story short, the thing kind of fizzled out. But out of like the 20 people that were there, I met this artist named L.Y.F.E from, I think he's from Roxbury, and I don't know, we just connected. His music was playing. I was asking him, he's very gritty. He's that stuff that people talk about. He's been through it.
Yeah.
And I don't relate to it, you know what I mean? But I like his music. I like him as a person. And I was like, let's go up to Worcester sometime. You know, we kind of stepped out of the fold of this group thing, and then his guy, Beans, who's a photographer. We just kind of connected, and I knew Beans because he knew my friend Cedric, and his friend Rich. I don't remember, but someone knew someone that knew somebody, and us three just kind of connected, and we just kind of talked about our upbringings and like the thing, how you know how a working class Irish family does dumb things with money, opposed to him, you know, where he talks about being a black guy with money, and not how we make sometimes the wrong decisions, but that there's like different intricacies, and we were just connecting on that level. And fast forward, he just hit me up and he sent me a bunch of tracks. Him and Beans are kind of like, well, which track do you like? Which one did you think should come out if we want to push that?
Yeah.
This, that. So we were kind of doing a little bit of A&R, and I was just happy to be in that fold. And like, you know what I mean? I'm like, this is cool. You know what I mean? We have some kind of artistic connection, if you will. So it's funny you mentioned that, because I did feel a little bit of the A&R marketing thing going on. So I'm hoping he can get something out there soon. And you know, I've talked to him about coming up here and working with terms people like Sean Calver and stuff like that. And I sent him 9 stuff the other day. He's like, I fuck with that guy. And I was like, yeah,
That was our last episode. Nope.
Yeah.
Well, Freddy's tonight. 9's was last week.
9 was like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
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 So like, you know, I sent him some, and I briefly spoke with 9s, and that's how it goes with the hip hop stuff. I just started reposting other artist stuff. And then, you know, I kind of have me and Dutch Rebel, shout out to Dutch Rebel, we're pretty friendly, and we talk on a regular basis about different businesses. And it's funny because a few years ago I was just driving, listening to her on Rex, on one of Rex's tracks. So, and you know, Snuck, another one, you know, he's always really, really generous about, really, really thankful that I'm putting on his stuff and promoting. And
Is he from Lawrence?
I think he might be either from Lawrence or Haverhill. Him and I think him and Easy Money go back.
Okay.
Easy Money in term obviously go back, but they're all
Yeah.
ST of the squad. But I like all those guys.
I feel some of my favorite artists have always been from Lawrence, actually. So, like, a shout out Lawrence.
For sure.
Like, I feel like, yeah, some of my favorite artists, like, from back in the day, like C Sharp, Knowledge.
Yep, I remember C Sharp and Knowledge.
I mean, still C Sharp, and I think Knowledge is still performing. I don't know if he's made any new music. Don't quote me. I might be wrong. But yeah, they were always like, when I think of like my early 20s and like that time in life, like before you're going to the club, and even in the club, because I feel like Dynasty was like super poppin'.
Yeah.
Pumped. I think I'm going to the Dynasty show. He's performing, I think, September 14th. Anywho, but like, yeah, when I think of back in the day, that was like the background music to my life. So that, and like obviously like some of my favorite artists are also from Lowell, but like,
Yeah.
if that, I just, outside of where I'm from.
Yeah, there's some dope artists from Lowell, and I mean, you've got some depth in some of that Lawrence history, some of the artists, and I mean, Lawrence has contributed hugely to hip hop. I mean, look at Static Selector. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just crazy.
I just feel, yeah, Lawrence has always had great artists. Someone that I just started listening to, I was put on to, I think his name is like M Bully or RK Bully.
RK Bully, yeah.
He's nasty, and his album, I think it's called, and I'm so sorry if I get this wrong, I think it's Scars of a Felon 3. Is that the correct name? Where's my phone?
You know what, to be honest, I just started following him, but I haven't checked anything.
It's
but I saw him and
nasty.
Fact check.
Like, it's the type of album that you can put on and just press play and listen to. So, shout out, I think it's RK Bully. Great artist. I think he's been, I don't know how long he's been making music, because like I said, I just started listening to him. But I'm under the impression, like, if you listen to him, it doesn't sound like he just started making music. Like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I listened to him and I was like, okay, this man must have been making music for like a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can you go on the Instagrams?
Yeah, that's why I saw him on IG.
Let's see.
Darwin, pull up the Instagrams. Oh, look at Kayla, la la.
First, I saw you.
Yeah.
I think his Instagram name is M Bully.
I'm trying to clear all this stuff out. Don't look at my search history.
I'm
Just
so
kidding.
sorry.
No,
I
I'm
can't
kidding.
read, honey. I don't have glasses. I can't read. Oh, but look at there's Freddie. Hi. Hi, Freddie. Shout out Freddie Labs, my boy.
You're Arcade Bully? Yeah, that's gotta be him.
That's it.
Okay,
That's
yes.
it.
RK Bully.
See, Nines is following him. Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like that's gotta be him.
Yeah, that's him. RK Bully. Yeah, that's his album cover.
This one right here.
Is that a photo?
The
of him?
Scars of a Felon.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. That
Yeah.
album is dope.
Yep. Scars of a Felon 3.
Oh, I was right. Okay.
Okay.
So his artist name is M Bully though.
M. Bully. Okay.
So yeah, so you're right. I mean that sounds like the third installment of that series. So he's got some.
So
more.
like, yeah, this man's definitely been making music for a while. Well, you can tell in his bars, you can tell in his flow, like it just in like the way that
Yeah.
when you listen to someone, you can be like, oh, they've definitely been doing something for a while,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Who's
like,
he
yeah,
from?
shout out Lawrence. I'm pretty sure Lawrence.
Yeah, all those guys.
As
all
well.
those guys and girls out there.
For sure.
There's some female. There's some.
Dang,
some
where's
female.
the-
Jesus. Why I don't drink. Imagine if I drink, I'd be drooling and
No,
everything.
no, it'd be
Yeah.
perfect. You
Yeah.
wouldn't need. It would be like the most eloquent speaker.
Yeah, with this accent, of course.
Thoroughbred and Teach Me How to Feel are my favorite tracks. They're all excellent, to be clear, but
He's got
Thoroughbred.
he got recognized on there too. Recognized as a dope artist. He was part of what the heck? He was part of Strange Music at one point with Tech Nine.
Oh, okay, I was like, that name I recognize.
And then he works with why does my brain never work?
Hi, for the first half of this episode, I guess I wasn't even awake. I was like, I'm hosting an event. What?
My brain does not work. Yeah, recognize.
Oh, I like those glasses.
Why is my brain? I'm telling you, my brain is not working today. Who does he normally work
Jay,
with?
be better.
Mayday Music.
Mayday.
I told you.
I remember some tracks with Tech Nine and
Yeah.
Mayday. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. That's a good feature. I like him. He's got some good bars too.
Yeah.
Recognize Wiz
No.
Dakota. He's been around for a while too. I remember when I first started coming up in 2012,
I feel like I
2013.
recognize that name from back in the day.
Producer. That's what I knew him for.
He works
but
with a bunch of different people, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. But yeah, so he's got some good features on here
Yeah,
too.
I'm telling you.
He's doing it right.
The
He's doing it
album's nasty.
The cover is dope too. I mean, if we're just gonna, I can put this up on the screen, for the episode, but
Oh yeah, can you? Because
Yeah.
everything about it is good. Yeah, the cover art,
the cover art,
the actual material, like the bars, the beats, the flows, like it's very good in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
that's a
And
good.
I like to think that I have very good taste in music.
I mean, because like as an artist, being an artist, but then also being a consumer, like I look at everything now.
Yeah, same.
And it's like, just cover art, like really good. It's simple. It's,
It
no
catches
pun
your
intended.
attention.
It's clean. And then even the track listing, shout out to Arcade Bully, but it's again, it's clean, but it brings a powerful message. Like you can already
that's
see
what I like about
what
it. It's
it's,
simple and it's extremely powerful. I
The
love
color
that.
of the jumpsuit on the ground, like that. That's,
Yeah.
I like
that's
that
why-
pop.
You know what? I'm about to date myself here of how old I am because
Honey, you're not that old.
I always bitch about how I can't see album covers on streaming stuff anymore, and that's like 'cause
Yeah.
everybody with a package
I
CDs,
miss the insert.
the producer and all.
Yes,
that.
I
Yeah.
miss being able to like open
Yeah.
it and like see all the lyrics and like I would be like,
So this is good. This is good for me. This
Yeah.
is good.
I love
right?
seeing stuff like this.
Something about having that tangible
I
product.
love that. So shout out to
Yeah.
Hellhound Publishing because I won their contest and I got like 5 or 6 different albums and it was so nice to just like hold a CD again.
Yeah.
And like so that was good.
That was the best part. You used to open it up, read
Oh my
when they used to have the lyrics in
Oh
them
my
too.
god,
I was
that
like,
was fire
happy
because
to-
then I didn't have to sit there and listen to them and like write them out myself.
you wrote them out.
Yeah, and when I was a kid.
Oh, I didn't go that far.
Oh my god, first of all, I'm a Virgo. Second of all, I had nothing better to do with my time. So like when I was a kid, and I was like recording songs off of the radio, so you want to talk about dating yourself. So like the song would come on the radio,
Yep.
you would
hit
record
play,
it,
yeah.
and then
Yes.
and then like I would like run it back and like get the words and then whatever.
Dang. I wasn't that extensive.
I told you I'm a music enthusiast. Okay?
You did it for the ringtone too, didn't you?
What do you mean?
Like record the song for your ringtone? Come on.
Maybe I did.
Okay, yeah. I did.
Maybe I did.
I know I did.
Maybe I did.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, the voicemail message, is that what you're talking about? Or
Both.
like cell
Both.
phone ringtones?
Both.
Because like I definitely had like the voicemail messages of like a song.
Yep.
And then like, okay, leave me a message. And then I definitely, when you, could had that option on like a flip phone.
Yep.
I feel like maybe I had like a Motorola Razr.
Yep. 100%.
Did that?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I miss the days of tangibles. I really do.
Yeah.
I forget who I was talking to, and maybe it was Murph. And just losing
Yeah.
for artists. Yeah, it was Murph. Because I talked to him on Sunday.
He's no longer Murphy. He is now Yacht Daddy.
Yeah, Daddy Murph. And we were talking about that, and I said, for artists, you kind of lose a source of income with the CD because you
Right.
can no longer sell them out the back of your car anymore. You can't bring them to shows because one, people aren't buying CDs anymore because you can just stream it, and two, most vehicles don't have CD players in them anymore. Like my truck 2018 does no CD player. I was pissed.
So I have a 2011 and I have a 5-disc changer.
I'm jealous of you.
So
I'm
I have
jealous
like
of you.
I have all Hellhound in my 5-disc changer right now.
I had the boombox CD player in my house that had like 6 CDs.
Oh, I had that
That
too
was
with
like-
the speak.
Yeah, that it would change, and then it would switch it.
Yes,
I
love
miss
that.
those days.
I miss that too.
Because now you get it right on your phone. I'm like, where's my phone? It's
I
over there.
think about that sometimes. Do you think about that? Like I think about the way that I consume music now versus like the now it seems like the hoops you used to jump through in order to get music, it wasn't really hoops, it was just normal life. But I feel like everything is so easily accessible now, and I'm like, you kids don't know the pain.
It was LimeWire, downloading it, putting it on a blank CD.
Yeah.
All the time.
Oh my god, I miss like the blank CDs. You could make your own mix CDs.
And then you had the book that was like this thick of just CDs, and you're just like
Yeah.
trying to find the one you want.
Yeah, that was kind of like the collapse of it. I mean, it certainly gave you a little bit of creativity to like be on the computer and learn some new skills and stuff like that. But we were stealing from the artists.
Yeah,
handing
that's
them
true.
out to all
That's
your
true.
friends, this, that, and the other thing was kind of, I don't want to say the demise, but it was certainly the change of how we consume music. And I can certainly say I feel like I probably appreciate it less than I did because of that, the context of being able to hold something and read it in the paper and being able to take that disc out with your finger and put it right there and have that in rotation with like, here's a new friend. But like, you know what I mean? Now it's just kind of like, oh, all right. You know, another thing to do on the phone, because we do everything on the phone. You know, it's so mundane.
I missed that feeling too because you couldn't listen to the song until you got the CD.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just
There was hype
album
around it.
released and then, oh, okay, I can
You
listen
had
to
to
it
wait,
instantly.
like-
Like I had to go to the store, buy the CD,
What if they were sold out too? Then
rip open the package in my car, throw the trash everywhere,
Yeah.
and put it in, and then you had to sit and listen to it. Now it's just
Yeah. And now you got all the bullshit like that Drake pulls, like he's supposed to be releasing the album, like I forget what date it was, and then people were waiting up to 1 a.m., 2 a.m. just to hear it. It's like, bro, go to bed. It'll be there in the morning. You know?
Right.
It's just like
That's
we're
what I'm
supposed to
saying.
like just go into the store and buying it when you're ready.
yeah.
Oh my god, I wish somebody thought my voice was that important that they were waiting till a certain time to
Yeah.
just listen to me.
Yeah. Tell
not
me
here
about it.
I
to be in
wish.
some break. Yeah. I'm not waiting. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll wait till I wake up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I miss those days. I miss just holding it. Now it's. I was talking with Yacht Daddy Murph.
Shout out.
It's. I mean, the new thing now. Well, it's not new. It's new to everybody of this generation. But the vinyl. But as an artist, if you're, we'll say myself, who doesn't have as big a following as say like Static Selecta, who can just print off a bunch of vinyls and people are gonna buy them. Like I can't, because people are buying vinyls now versus CDs, which is weird. But I can't do that because the cost to get those printed is astronomical. Well, in my sense. And I'm not going to find the market to buy them yet. So it's like I'm going to be sitting with stacks of vinyls in my house after I just spent probably thousands of dollars getting them printed up for nobody. You know, I mean, I'll probably get a couple people, you know what I mean? Like there are, you know, the loyal fans and stuff, but compared to like a Static Selecta,
Right.
who people are going to be like, yo, I'm grabbing that now.
Right, you're paying for distribution, that's more out of your pocket. And I mean, the other thing is a lot of artists, and I've seen a lot of the Lawrence guys doing it, is Bandcamp, where
Bandcamp is
you have,
good.
like incentive to buy not just the CD, but there might be like, you know, an extra photo or a
What's
t-shirt
that?
or something tangible. It's a website where they're selling the music, but you know, you're buying the CD or a limited edition record with it or something like that. They're gonna throw in some goodies. So a lot of artists.
Oh, that's
are doing
really
that. It's pretty
cool.
dope,
Actually,
yeah.
I want to check that out.
It's like your own, like it's, I don't want to say it's like Shopify, but it's more like it's more directed obviously towards artists, but like you said, like you can put your CDs, but then you can have like merch up there too. You can have vinyl, whatever. Like it's your
Okay.
own little like music store for an artist.
That's actually really cool, and I want to be able to support people that way too. So I want to check.
But you get more back from it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not as much like a Spotify stream where you get, you know, half a penny per
Did you
stream.
get that meme that I sent you? The little pocket on your jean is
Yeah.
the money that you make from Spotify.
Yeah, like, you know, you sell a CD for like $10, you get like $9 back. Because I mean, Bandcamp's gonna, you know, collect what's
Yeah.
theirs, but
Yeah.
the return is much higher versus, you know, Spotify, stream, whatever.
I don't remember if I bought I think I must have bought it off Bandcamp when Terminology dropped start to finish, the first project he did with Paul Wall like a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember because I saw something online to talk to him about how to regulate businesses, like, you know, multimedia businesses, and that's when I met Snuck, and I said to him, sorry for hitting the mic, I said to him, Snuck sounds like Paul Wall a little bit to me, and he laughs, like, I'm putting out a project with Paul Wall, and, you know, from there I was just waiting on it, because I remember the Texas thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in
yeah,
05, and I was just waiting on it, I was like, Paul Wall, and I was like, you know, when that one comes out, I want the, you know, the autograph thing, so I went to Bandcamp, and it was an experience like from yesteryear, opening it up and all that stuff. And it was for real. And then like there's other ways too, like Dutch Rebel. I mean, I read this on like WBUR or some website a while ago before I even knew her. She would go, if someone ordered the CD, she would go door to door with the CD. Hi, I'm Dutch Rebel. Nice to meet you. Thank you for buying my
so
product.
cool.
Yeah. So
That's
a little bit of
love
output
that.
of time and mileage on the car, but like it's something.
No,
different.
that makes a difference. Like, I love that. What a great idea, because like that's what makes all the difference. People will remember that.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that, like, yeah, when you are an artist, you are starting from the ground up, and it's like you do have to do everything yourself and be creative and like how you're gonna make an impact and get out there. So like, shout out to her, because that's a really that was a cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think CDs made you appreciate the longevity of the music more, because there was so much time in between you receiving music.
Yeah.
In my head, like I think of like, you know, because then like financially speaking, like if you only have enough for 1 or 2 CDs and you're like, oh, I want to get this other artist, well now I have to wait to get my money to then go buy that CD that I didn't get the first time. But let me sit with these other 2 and I can rock with them, and then, you know, I can get the next one. So it's like you were able to sit with the music longer, whereas now it's just like everything is right there. So it's like, all right, I'm done with this one. All right, I move to the next one. I'm done with this one. Now I go to the other one. Go to this one, that one, this playlist, that playlist. So there's no time in between anymore.
Yeah.
So then you don't get to appreciate the artist anymore, essentially, because it's just like, oh, there's another one right here.
Well, that's how you know who are real ones. Like, because to really invest in an artist, like, it takes the effort. It takes that extra click on a post to go see someone's page and then follow them and like see if they have merch, and like that's how you know like who your real supporters are.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I miss the tangibles.
Me too.
Yeah, for sure.
Those were the days.
It's funny you bring that up though, because like I'd say comedy is my first pick. If I could have done it, I would have been a producer or a rap artist or something like that. But like now, how you're talking about the distribution and having something tangible, it's easier almost coming up in comedy to maybe make a few bucks or free marketing, because someone might just see, oh, there's a comedy show at Fox and Hound, or there's a comedy show at Taffeta. Maybe you don't even know who's on the list, but you're just going out.
I would go to a comedy show where I did.
And that's exposure, right? Opposed to I just see an artist's name on Spotify. I don't know what they're about. Let me specifically listen to them. That's a bit more of a challenge. Like that's a bit more of a challenge, I would say, to get a fan base than it is in like
That's a good point.
comedy or even any other kind of performance art, opposed to a multimedia recording art. I don't know, it's just some random thought I came
That's
up
a
with.
good point.
No, that makes sense, because like I even see it as myself as a consumer. You know, I'll go through sometimes, like look at like the new music that drops, because I'm like, oh, I want to hear something new. I want to see, you know, maybe some of my favorite artists have dropped and I just missed it, whatever. And you'll see just random artists that you've never heard of in them. But I'm like, do I really want to like click play, or do I just want to find somebody that I know? So it's like a twofold thing. It's like, do I try to open my horizons and find somebody new and take that risk and spend the time to listen to them, or do I just go with what's comfortable? You know, so it's like it's a twofold thing where, you know, do you discover a new artist, or is that artist now discovered, or are they still kind of laying in wait for, you know, me or whoever?
Right.
I've had give or take results with that, like, you know, both scenarios where I might put on, like, I was listening to evidence from Dilated People, and I forget how that, I don't know who came up, but what ended up happening, I started listening to Currency, Smoke DZA, and Big Crit. Then I found out they had a bunch of songs together, and it was just kind of like, okay, like, I was all about Skybound or Skyborn from Currency, and that wasn't an artist I would have thought of. I'm gonna go listen to Currency right now.
Yeah.
No disrespect against him, because I ended up enjoying the albums, but it was just funny how that happened. And then there's other times where I'm like, yeah.
Instagram puts me onto my new music artists. I don't even like Spotify. I feel like I feel like I don't listen to, or like I will go search out an artist that I just found on Instagram on Spotify, but like I won't like look at new artists on Spotify, if that makes sense.
Honestly, I don't search anymore.
What do you mean?
I don't look for new people.
Oh, okay.
Personally.
I don't know what I feel like.
Unless somebody's like, hey, you should check this person out.
Right.
Like otherwise, which is for me sad, because I used to be that person. Like, I need new music. Who can I find? Who can I look up? Whatever. Now I'm just like, But I don't know if it's because of that oversaturation of just music, and it's like,
right.
I don't feel like diving down that rabbit hole anymore because there's so much accessible to me.
I feel like I've become, or I don't know if it's necessarily like snobby, but like when I'm looking for new music, I mostly am looking for like unsigned or indie artists. The more local, the better to me.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you're already a big artist, I don't want to.
Like your pockets are already full.
Like I don't need to. Like I know that
No
maybe that
disrespect.
sounds like cavalier or whatever. Obviously, I still will.
Yeah.
But like I am more apt to search out like a local artist. Like that's the music that I'm looking for, and easily find, especially like through Instagram and just through artists that I follow or people that are just my friends, and I just look at their stories and follow the artists that they post and whatever. So like I'm able to find a lot of good music that way. But like other than that, I'm not searching out.
But like local artists need people like you, because it's those people that are trying to jump on the bandwagon before the wheels are even on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like people don't do that anymore. And, you know, you always hear the saying like, don't wait for your artist to blow up before you start liking them. Like them now, and then
right. Like,
because it's like if you start liking them now, could blow up. But like people are like, oh, just wait.
I almost appreciate it more because I think also being a creative, being adjacent to it, having a lot of loved ones like in the scene and being able to see it, like I just appreciate and I feel like I understand what goes into it. And to me, I'm like, that makes me want to support you more.
Right.
Because I understand like it's no joke at this level. Mm-hmm. It's no joke to get yourself out there and to get on bills and to get exposure and be managing your social media and be scheduling appearances on podcasts or what have you, performances at open mics and things. It's like, we all know how hard that is to just be active like that. So I'm so happy to support people that are doing that.
But the average Joe Schmo doesn't, so they don't understand that.
Because they're not creative.
What it takes to be a comedian, to put in all that work, like you said, to get yourself out there as an artist, to put music together, promo and all that stuff. And the same thing goes for comedians too. Like you got to be able to put yourself out there, advertise yourself. Like, hey, like I'm really freaking good. Come check me out. I got a show coming up, or check out my live special on YouTube or whatever. If you put skits together on YouTube or whatever, like that takes time and practice. And like you said, doing workshops, like there's a lot of things that go behind this. It isn't just like we just woke up one day, found a microphone, and just started recording, and then here we are.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
for sure. I see a lot of intrigue, not that I look for it, but because of the exposure to it, I see a lot of intricacies with hip-hop music and comedy, and what we were just talking about, like supporting local artists is huge, especially in hip-hop and the subgenres of hip-hop, because it's such a territorial art form. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, you knew when somebody was West Coast or East Coast or the South or Midwest, And even in a small state like Massachusetts, you know, there's Worcester that's doing it, Lawrence that's doing
Y'all
it.
rappers get weird with each other, just saying.
And it's just, huh?
I said, y'all rappers get weird with each other, just saying. Not you.
No,
But
I know what you're
not-
saying, yeah.
Not, and obviously not my fellow co-host L.Y.F E, which shout out L.Y.F E. But like, in general, rappers get weird with each other. So, yeah.
Yeah. But I think also like there's a little bit of that in comedy too, like where you're selling yourself. So a little bit of where you're from, your accent, your upbringing might come up, and like, you know, the traumas of your upbringing of whatever it is, you know, come out, and that becomes territorial as well. And it's like, support something you can relate to, or not even relate to, but someone that might be your neighbor. You know what I mean? I know that guy across the street. That guy sounds like my neighbor across the street, or something like that. Kind of losing my point here, but like kind of in the sense of, like you said, support it while you can. Don't you know? Don't go buy a $321 ticket to someone that is out. You know what I mean? Like do your thing. Like start like it's like buying fruits and vegetables and like organic food. Like buy local. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's better for you. It's better for the community. Put on.
But that's the thing. They're like, oh, I can't wait for them to blow up. But like, what are you doing to help them blow up? Like, are you going to shows? Are you buying their merch? Like,
But, you know, it's like, okay, so I was having a conversation with a fellow creative and just a wise gentleman in general. And we were talking about this exact thing of basically how it goes with what you're saying, but maybe kind of against it. Like why people don't blow up in their hometowns. It's almost like you need to leave to blow up, because it's not that you would think that the people closest to you would think that your hometown or where you grew up, you think that they would want to put you on and they would want to sing your praises and want to like have your name in lights. But it's not until your name is in lights that place is like,
that's our guy from Lowell. Yo,
that's
what's up?
Jay, that's Shawn. That's Kayla. Like it's almost like you have to leave because your community is too familiar with you, and it's almost like that can be a gift and a curse, right? Because it's almost like, well, when people are really close to you in that proximity, they think they can either do exactly what you're doing and do it better, or like, well, I'm not going to support this person because I'm too busy paying attention to my own shit. Or like, yeah, that person's from Lowell or wherever you grew up, insert city here, and like I'm from that same place, and like I can be doing that too. So it's like this weird thing.
Have you guys experienced that from as artists or creators, where you're like, where's the love? And you end up getting it from strangers, but then there's like people you thought would stream something. Like, have you
100%.
ever felt that?
You go first.
100%.
Yeah.
100% all the time. Like I've reached out to stuff in Lowell, we'll call a spade here. I've reached out for stuff, you know, for Lowell, whatever, like just nothing. But then I've had people in like different countries be like, yo, your music is super dope. Like I'm just keep going. Like, cause I used to do different lives, and you know, back when, what's that live stream thing that used to be? It starts with a P. Can't remember. But anyways, I used to go live, I would make music, whatever, and people from different states, different countries, they'd hop on, I'd be recording or writing, whatever, and they'd be like, man, your music is dope, it's crazy, blah, 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 blah. But then, like, I talk to people around here, and they're like, it's nothing. It's like crickets. And I'm like...
I think it's got to be that familiarity. They see too much of themselves in you, or, like, too close to you. I don't know. It has to do with that. I'm
like, how are people connecting to people? But I'm like, like, I've been doing this for a while. Like, I'm not invisible.
Right.
But it's like you don't see that support from your hometown. Like, you know, you want to talk Instagram, like, I'm tagging Lowell all the time. I'm, you know, whatever, like, everything. You know, I'm putting up flyers, doing, you know, this and that and the other thing. And I'm like, but it's crickets. But then, you know, I can put something up or whatever, and it's like somebody from a whole other country is like, yo, it's dope, like keep going, whatever, here's your music, it's really good. Like, makes zero sense to me.
What a wild concept though. Like somebody overseas is like But I mean, at the very least, this person is so unbiased. They know nothing
Right.
about you
Yeah.
besides what they've heard, and they're telling you you're dope. And I don't want to say that. I don't know how that makes you feel, but I just feel like that's having that unbiased. That I mean, it hurts.
It's true.
It hurts because I get that from a business standpoint. I'm a realtor, real estate agent. It's like, hey, I just bought a house. Did you fucking call me?
Right,
Like,
right.
I'm on Instagram with that
Right.
stuff. And that's a horse of a different color because I don't love promoting that. Like, not that I don't want people to know. I want people to I want to make some money, but I don't love promoting that or whatever. But like, it's like you knew what I would have done right by you and things like that. So like, as far as art and business, I see it all the time. And I see what I've noticed is a trend of like a stranger liking the product or feeling inspiration, and then like a lot of people I talk with, I've never even met. You know what I mean? We didn't know each other until I saw the Casey Woods interview, and you're always giving me words of encouragement and things like that. And it's funny, you might not get that from someone you grew up with or something like that. They just look past it.
That's very
funny.
true.
Stuff like that.
My experience is different, very different from yours, just coming from an actor. So I feel like, and it's funny because I almost don't realize these things until we're like comparing experiences. So whenever I'm like delving into a character and like creating that and working on it, and whenever I perform on stage, and this might sound weird, obviously you're putting on a show for the audience. I understand that. I understand that people are there watching me, but I'm never thinking about them, if that makes sense. I'm thinking about like, how do I put this? And maybe it's like, if you're an actor, you'll get it. And I'm just trying to articulate it in somewhat of a smart manner. It's like, I'm never thinking about the audience experience while I'm performing. I'm not thinking about anything because I'm in character. So that's not even Kayla. I'm not thinking about the audience. Whatever character I've been cast as, that's who I am. So I'm not even in that theater. I'm in whatever world I'm supposed to be in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like as an act, I'm in the play, I'm in the show. So I'm never thinking of an audience experience. And when I get off stage, it's like I almost forget that there was just a room full of people watching me. So at that point, if people come up to me, yes, it usually is strangers, and it will be like, oh, you made me feel feelings I didn't even know I could feel, or thank you for that. You made me like one of the last show that I was in was Good Grief. Shout out Mary Darling, my one of my best girls and creative partners, and she's wonderful. It was a very heavy show, and there was a lot of territory for it to be very emotionally triggering for people, and I was definitely responsible, myself and the cast, we were responsible for taking people on a very emotional journey. And it was almost like I didn't even think about that until after, and I was seeing people, and it was like, so I think it's different in that point, because you're always thinking of like, how am I
was just gonna
engage?
ask that. And
I'm almost never thinking of that.
I was just going to ask that, and correct me if I'm wrong, and this is why I'm asking the question. Do you think it's different from an acting perspective versus comedian artist, where the crowd participant is specifically going, in theory, to see you,
right,
as a part of a collective whole, as a play, whereas comedian artist, it's like, we hope they want to come to see us, or they're there to see somebody else.
I guess I didn't think of it that way.
So it's like you don't. So again, I'm speaking in hypotheticals or just asking the question. So whereas you don't need to worry about the audience experience because they're already there to see you, whereas somebody like myself or comedian Shawn, sorry, I don't know why I did that. It's like we have to. I'm just speaking in general. the audience reaction is based on how we perform, and what we are trying to do is get their reaction, in a sense.
I think because in a show, obviously, we're trying to get audience.
Right.
But, like, I think what you're saying in, like, the intent, you're absolutely right, and I didn't think about it from that way. Right, because if I'm in a play, yeah, people...
They're coming essentially to see that play and,
like, yeah.
and the actors that are in it.
Right.
Essentially, whether they know you or not, they're coming to see people to perform the overall theme of said play.
Right.
Whereas for us, it's kind of a hit or miss almost.
Right.
Where it's like, are they even here to see us, or are they here, or are they there to see somebody else? And if they're just here because they're like, hey, I heard there was a comedy show, I kind of want to see. Well, now we've got to do double duty of making sure that we give them a good show as, you know, as the creator.
Right, all performers, right.
And then also trying to gain new fans.
That's true.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes it. Well, I'm never I guess in this could only just go for me. I'm never thinking of gaining fans when I'm on stage. And I guess that would be different, right? Like, I mean, I guess if somebody, maybe that's weird. I've never thought about this out loud.
Like at this point in my career, like if I start going on tours, you know, like Joyner or whoever, whatever, again, speaking locally, people that are showing up to that show, they want to see me perform. Which is different than now, because I'm still trying to get myself out there. So it's different in that theory too.
Right.
I think like what we were talking about earlier, like there's a lot of like different levels to like acting, performing, and being a comedian. But like what we were talking about when you were talking about on the Apartments album, one of the interest one of the song was contemplating not when getting the product out, it was more of getting the product out than if people would like it, because you're doing that for you. And you could make that an album and be acquiescent about it and have it out, and like, because you're doing it for yourself. And that kind of like, I feel like I like that, and I almost wish I was a recording artist instead, because like I do the comedy for me. There's just something about saying the shit. I think it's funny, but people are going to see this. Like, people are going, the purpose of them being there is to laugh. So I have to make it like that they want to laugh. So all of a sudden, this therapy for me has become a product that I have to give. And I'm not saying that you don't have to do that or anything like that. But like there's that thing, like, and the acting is a performative art too. So it is something where there is something too where I just see the lights and things like that. But if I don't hear, what I need to hear is laughing, and if I don't do that, I feel like I'm not performing well. You know what I mean? Even if I think I'm hitting all the lines, I'm doing something wrong, or maybe it's just a bad run. Yeah. And I think it's
been in those.
yeah. Right.
I've dealt with that where like the audience is completely dead, and you're like, oh my god, is anybody here?
What's the reaction? What is the reaction from acting that you would get from being a live performer? Because Jay would get people, you know, singing along, clapping, moving, and I'd get laughs. Obviously, what is the reaction as a actress?
I guess whatever would be appropriate to what's going on in the scene. So like, if I do have a moment, which I try to not have moments where I'm out of character, so like I try to just be fully in character the whole time. So I mean, but I'm still a person with the five senses. Like I can tell if someone's sniffling, if I'm in an emotional part, or like, yeah, if I'm having an emotional scene, I'm noticing if people are like sniffling, or if I'm very close to the audience, because I've also been in situations where literally I would be like this, like acting in a scene, and the audience member would be right next to me like you are, or like Jay is. So I guess at that point you're just kind of listening, and if I can see, then maybe a glance or two, just if people are engaged. Do you hear a giggle? Do you hear any Do you or
relative to the situation that's being
like what like
acted
is
on.
anybody reacting? I have been in scenes that were so emotionally escalated and I didn't hear a thing and that made me nervous. But the reason why I didn't hear a thing is because everyone was like, you know,
Everybody was on the other side like, what's
yeah,
happening?
like
And how can you gauge that if you're in the role?
Yeah,
right? So that
so
requires
sometimes
multiple talents.
it's. I definitely think that we all do this because we're all performers. You have that like, not third eye, so maybe we'll call it fourth, where you're like, it's almost like you're having, while you're performing, you're having this out of body experience where you can just like kind of know what's going on in the room.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
I was like, I feel like you guys get it. Like you're just.
I have like 3 phases too. Like
Yeah,
I have
it's tiered.
I have the focused on making sure that I actually remember what it is that I'm supposed to be performing. The outer body experience of just paying attention and seeing how people are reacting, because then I've been trying to get better at reacting how people are reacting to what I'm doing. And then 2, like, or 3 is like sometimes like I kind of just black out and just go. Almost like a state of hypnosis where I'm just like, I just go, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, we're back. Okay, next song. And then I kind of like black out again, and then we're here, and then like
I understand that.
Do you feel that flow state is more productive or better though? Because you're in the zone, you're in your art, or do you feel like there is that need to stay engaged and switch it up if you're not getting the reaction you want? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, I like this question.
No.
I personally, I mean, in reality too, I really don't like the blackout part. One, in the sense of if there's like a song that I may be struggling with, like it's a newer song, so I'm like trying to make sure that I remember the words, because then when I black out, I forget. And then I get into that, almost like instant panic mode of whatever. But then too, like you said, I want to be more engaged. Like I also just want to be in the moment, because then I feel like once I black out, I miss things that I could be doing in reaction to the crowd, or I'm like, if Yacht Daddy Murph is doing something, I can, I can be like, because then I go into autopilot, and then I'm like, man, like I could have. There's like those moments where I'm not blacked out, and I'm like, yo, let's do this, just spur of the moment, and then I'm like, yeah, that was dope. Because then you get the reaction that you were hoping for. Whereas once I black out, you kind of just go through the motions, and then the song is over, and you're like, I feel like I missed a moment where like I could have done something and I didn't.
I get that.
Yeah.
I think, and this probably is just different because we're talking about 2 different things. So for me on stage as an actor, I feel like that when I'm in that flow state that's when my best work is done, and that's when I feel like, oh my god, I could cry thinking about it. That's when I feel like I have never performed better, I've never showed up better, I'm like firing at my full potential. Like those are the only moments where I feel like I'm fully present in a moment, I fully trust myself, I'm not questioning everything, those are the moments that I treasure, and I feel like that's where my best art lies, and those will be the most either beautiful or funny or whatever I'm trying to convey. Sure. And that's when I feel, for me personally, that's Kayla's best. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
So they kind of like a back against the wall kind of a thing, or like,
I need to be, or I love it when, because it's, I guess moments that I picture in my head is when I'm like on stage with a scene partner, and that energy is just flowing, and everything's so good, and the lines are going back and forth, and you got your blocking down, and everything is just so, like, you could just kiss the gods, you know what I mean? Like, that's when I feel like everything is just, that's the beauty of theater, and it's just wonderful, and you don't have to think, and everything is just that flow state. There's also other moments in theater where because either way, you're so heavily attuned to everything that's going on around you. It's like crazy, right? So, but then there are other moments where maybe you're not so in that flow state, but you're still so in tune with the other person. Like, I think there's just a real beauty in that connection and sharing that, because when you have a scene partner or multiple scene partners, like, you really gotta trust those people to deliver, you know, and just have that flow and have it go back and forth. So I got lost in that answer, but this is making me miss theater.
During that whole conversation, I didn't even think of that, like the camaraderie, and like, Jay, you probably have to deal with that as well. If you've done a song on stage with somebody or have a hype person, then if their energy's not matching you, so I never even thought about that. That could be a blessing and a handicap that comedians don't have to do, because you're there yourself, and so it's that trust. You got to give that person that trust, and if they're off, then I didn't even think of that.
It is really beautiful though, because especially depending upon who your scene partner is, like, and if you have that chemistry, you already have that relationship, you've built that. If they are off, you can pick them up. If you're off, they're gonna pick you up, like, and you know that, and like, it's just such a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, because I've been in performances where the person that I was performing with forgot their lyrics, and I was like, I can't help you. So then you have to kind of just like let it ride out, get to the hook, and then you can kind of jump back into it. But then at that time, you start losing almost your mojo in it, because now you're not as into it, because you're just like, all right, now we just got to wait for the hook to come back in. And then it's like, now we got to like restart back into it. And, you know, that can be a challenge too, if, you know, the person that you're performing with is off.
You learn a lot in those moments though. It's like, you kind of opened up the episode when we were talking about your show last night, of like, just if the moments where you feel like you were not at your best, or like, you're noticing certain things in the crowd, or like, oh, maybe that reaction, I didn't get what I wanted there. Like, those are the moments that you are learning the most, and like, you'll surprise yourself in your on the fly skills, and that's the beauty of live performances, right? Or also curse, but I feel like more so beauty. Like, there was this goes to show how heavily attuned you need to be to each other when you're on stage. So I was in a play a few years back, and in this scene I was pregnant, and I'm fully pregnant, and in the scene, so I'm waiting for my cue, and I was supposed to enter, and then my water was going to break. So the fucking community theater, here we go. So I have like a blanket stuffed up under my dress to look like my belly. Now I have, in between my legs, I have a water balloon taped to my left thigh, and a contraption that we made of like sharp metal taped to my right thigh. So that way, all I needed to do when I walked out on stage was just
holy shit,
close my legs, and then my water would break. So we tried it at rehearsals. Everything worked out great. This was, I think this was opening night. So I'm standing behind the curtain. I'm waiting for my cue, and it's probably 3/4 of the way into the scene before I come on. So I have not a long time, but a little bit, like cutting it real close. I moved my right leg the wrong way, and the water balloon broke before I needed to go on stage. So now I'm like, and I'm looking at my castmate that was there to like assist me, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, I have to be on stage and do this in like a minute and 30 seconds. What are we gonna do? So we had like a backup bowl of water balloons, and like, so now my castmate, God bless you, Eli, mwah, I will never forget this moment. So Eli's like running backstage, comes back, more tape, another balloon, another metal object. This is all this has to be less than a minute and 30 seconds. And thank God my castmates, they were so heavily attuned to me behind stage. One of my castmates heard it happen. I don't even know how he heard it happen. He heard the balloon break. So he like dragged out the scene.
So you had time to.
Not so much that it was noticeable.
Right.
Right.
But like, obviously, anybody who was in the play knows. Okay, like that went an extra few beats longer, and I was like, thank God. So by the time that happened, like the lights went down and boom, I was ready to like go enter. But like, my God, that was so nerve-wracking too.
Was it like an adrenaline rush? Like
Yes.
always, like
Because
you nailed it. You're like, yeah.
and then obviously once you make it happen, nothing else feels better in the world, and you feel like Wonder Woman, right? But like in those moments up to it, you're like, oh my fucking, what the fuck am I gonna do? You know what I
The
mean?
worst feeling to come out as the best feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was like, pits and peaks, right?
Right. That's the thing, but like discomfort, we gear away from discomfort so much because of social media and because we have grocery stores. I know it sounds sunny, but like we don't have to hunt for our food or anything. We're so comfortable and disassociated with like discomfort. And I don't think people understand when you're performing and making something, like it sounds corny, but it is a sacrifice. You really do have to sacrifice time. You just can't you know what I mean? You just can't be like, oh, I'm gonna go out and hope for the best. I hope I do all right tonight. You know, you gotta practice that.
Yeah.
Especially if you have an artist you have a song with, and you've done it with them, but you gotta practice again, and you know, it's a lot. It's a lot to craft something, and I'm learning that now. You know, it's not just let me go out, you know, on Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights and do a mic, and then when I have a show in October, you know, I hope everything goes all right. It's like it's just not that, you know.
Right.
And obviously, my situation doesn't have as high a stakes as yours, where there was props and other people and things like that. If I stammer on my words or trip on my shoelace, you know, I'm a comedian, I can fix that or something like that. But that's like high stakes stuff. But isn't that what we kind of live for? Like
Comedy's high stakes though. They're like, the pressure's high, so don't just credit yourself in that.
No,
I do understand what you're saying though. I get it.
The pressure's high, but like the other night, you know, the lights were just fucking killing me. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, you know, I'm just like, hang on, let me take these fucking things off. You know? And it kind of played into my personality of a jittery guy, and I took the glasses off, and that was fine. Opposed to if you're rapping a song and you're like moving the mic and not, you know, taking everything off or something like that. So
stage lights are brutal. I
prefer them that way. I don't have to make eye contact.
No, it's good because you can't see anybody, right?
Yeah.
But oh my God, I remember I did a preview of a show for my girl, the same playwright I just shouted out, Mary Darling, and we were at this beautiful theater in Worcester called J Mac. It's absolutely gorgeous, and her daughter, she like helps with the show. It's very cute. Shout out Kyrie, my girl. I love you. She helps with the show. She's acted with us. You know, she's behind the scenes. She's just such a love. And we were at a rehearsal and practicing bows. So we were coming out and we were holding hands, and the stage lights were on us. And I remember her being like, "Do you ever get?" She like whispered to me. She's like, "I can't see," and I'm like, "I know, honey. You're not supposed to be able to see. That's not the point." And then she said something like, "Do you ever get used to this?" And I'm like, "No." Never. No. Do you get used to it? No, sweetie, there's no hope. You don't get used to it.
Nope.
I'm bad when you pop that ring light out. I'm like, oh.
Hey, there's a ring light there?
No, usually there's
we
like
have one,
a ring light situation. And I'm like, oh.
You feeling better without it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have sensory sensitivities, so like fluorescent lighting or like crazy bright lighting for long periods of time isn't great, but I mean, obviously you do what you have to do.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, we're just talking about performing like under lights and shit like that. Yeah,
I mean, you do what you got to do.
Yeah,
you make the exception for when you're.
You make exception for your craft, right?
Right,
Yeah.
like, am I gonna sit in a room with fluorescent overhead lighting? No, I'm probably gonna be like, can you shut those bad bitches off? But will I be on stage like with those crazy ass? Absolutely, you pick and choose.
Yeah, that's a big thing, Jay. Maybe you do that too. Like you have to be around when you're performing. You have to be around alcohol again, and how nerve-wracking that can be. At least for me, it was. And now it's just like. You know, I can't be like, can you put that fucking drink away? But it's like,
Oh my God, your face! That was just like, I'm so sorry to say this, and I think you'll get what I mean, but I felt like that was just like the picture of like white fragility, and that was hilarious.
I have can't help it. I have a lot of white fragility. I get it. I do my best to hold it in because it's not the biggest problem. That's the joke I make. It's like people patting me on the back for my sobriety is like I don't need this extra pat on the back. I don't need this pass. I'm a white guy. I'm gonna be okay. Like it's gonna be all right. I get it. If I'm an inspiration to you, great. But don't be like, oh my God, you're such a leader and you're so brave. It's like it's hard, but for most people, this is the bare fucking minimum.
You're so brave.
Yeah.
I love that. You're so brave.
If you saw me 6 months ago, you wouldn't be saying that. You'd be like, oh God, this guy. But like going out, like being around alcohol and stuff like that for, I don't know, a gentleman that said you don't drink anymore. And it's like, just like certain elements, you do have to be uncomfortable with like certain things or sometimes certain people that it's just there. But you get through it for the sake of what your passion is, you know?
How was that for you though? Like, because obviously at comedy performances like hip hop shows, there's gonna be booze, there's gonna be alcohol around. So like, how was that for you? Because you started comedy after sobriety, correct? Okay, so there was never a time that you were like drinking before you got on stage.
No.
Okay, good. So then you didn't have to deal with that. But what is it like being in the environment then?
So I went down to check out a mic at the brewery that we were talking about earlier, and it was. I don't want to say it was a shit show, but like there was, there was a guy playing a guitar and then a comedian. So it was already chaos, and like we've talked about sensory overload. There was just so much going on. There's a kid running around, someone's drinking a beer, and they have their dog. I'm like, what is going on? I'm so sorry.
This sounds like my personal hell.
It was a lot.
It sounds like my personal sensory hell.
It was people were drinking. It's closed in. Like the beer is there and flowing. So it was like I'm not performing tonight. I'm here to support other artists. But now it was like the other night, everyone's like, dude, stick around, have a drink. I was like, did you just not hear my fucking skit? like when I open with it, and like, shit, I'm sorry. It's like, there's nothing to be sorry about. So I do, like, I'll have a Diet Coke, or I tried a non-alcoholic beer, which is the stupidest thing in the world to invent. But I had it, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm used to that now.
I'm only laughing because in a play I had to chug a non-alcoholic beer, and we did so like the all tech week, and then the show run was like 2 weekends in a row. I chugged so much non-alcoholic beer. I understand
that is terrible.
how shitty it is.
Oh my God. I had like 2 last night, and it was like there was a placebo. I didn't feel intoxicated. I felt
it tastes like ass.
Right? And it's like, this is not doing anything.
Not that I know what ass
is.
I've never had ass, but I mean, I've had non-alcoholic beer, and it doesn't taste great.
It's like smoking cigarettes. This is just making me upset and nervous. It's not doing anything to stimulate me. But like,
it's just making me upset.
But now it's like, now I am at a point where I want to go up to Shawsheen up in Manchester and see some hip hop. I'm excited about Snuck's release party.
Wait, go to where?
Like
Shashkeen.
When are you going?
I don't know yet. I was always looking on Instagram in the beginning.
Shout
of
out
the
DJ Myth.
And shout out to Sean Caliber.
Oh yes, he's so
Caliber.
fantastic.
He's such a nice guy. I've never met him, but he's always,
super dope guy. I've met him a couple times. Super
talented.
dope.
That man picks up a microphone.
Yeah.
Very funny. He's very funny.
His mic skills are underrated.
Oh my God! You know how when someone you're like, were you born with that mic in your hand? All right, I got you. Like he's just super talented. The other host, is it I9?
I9's
super
phenomenal
talented
too.
as well.
Very good.
You guys go up there, right? I know you.
I've performed up there a couple of times too.
Yeah, but I'd like to be. That is a place now that I'm adjusted with my sobriety. I would like that is a place I would love to go because of the hip hop and the ambiance of that.
It's
before
definitely.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, like there's a lot of Sean, I don't know why I haven't been like, go! But talent-wise, I understand environment-wise if you wanted to, like, take it slow. But the talent-wise, there's so many people that perform that are, like, you just look at them and you're like, wow. It's, like, it's really impressive, and it just makes you like have a sense of pride for like the area that you're from, and like you get to see all these people and you're like, wow, it makes you want to like, it gives you more motivation to look for local artists, because you're like, all of these people are just as, they're the only difference between an artist that's performing at rap night and an artist that's already signed is literally just probably an opportunity or two, because the talent is the same, at least in my eyes. Like you know when someone has it, and like most of the people that step up there have it. It's great. And then for me, I do consume alcohol, and it is half off for industry workers, so half off Hennessy for Kayla is a great time. I'm not saying it's a great time for anybody around me, but I'm having a good time.
No, it's it seems like everybody's on their A game up there. It
Definitely.
Well, they book the right people.
Yeah.
Because I know like Myth does a lot of the booking. Like sometimes he's hit me up and be like, yo, you want to perform? I'm like, all right, cool. Like I know Myth, and I know he would not book. And this is not me tuning my own horn. I'm saying for all the other dope artists that come up there, it's like I know he's not going to just book somebody that's not going to represent what rap night is.
Exactly. Like I think, well, I'm just a fan and supporter of him in general, just because of like his artistry. I mean, he's a super talented DJ.
Yeah.
Like just. You watch that man DJ. This might sound a little creepy. I'm like, watch that man DJ. No, but seriously, like you could get lost in it. You know how when you watch someone and they're in their element and they're just so good at what they're doing, and you're like, God damn.
Yeah, he scratched on a song that me, Vincent Tesoro, and D-Rock are releasing. Oh. Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, he killed it.
Oh my God.
So I'm excited for that.
Wow, okay, so 4 names that I love. No, that's gonna be dope. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. He's like,
because I've seen him at shows where the artists like it was like one like he got booked to DJ, not necessarily one that he was like picking the artist, and they weren't really the greatest, and like you can just see it. He's just like, okay. Like, you just know, like, because even him and I will, like, look at each other and, like, we won't say anything. We'll just look at each other, and then we'll be like, yeah, we know.
That's one of my favorite things, is just that silent eye contact. And no face is made. It's just the eye contact, and you're like, noted.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, got it. Yep. Okay, we're seeing the same thing. Okay,
yes.
Perfect.
There was this one performer. I've already talked about it on an episode. There was just this one performer at Rap Night one night, and I don't even remember his name. It doesn't even matter. I would never name drop this person anyways. And he was just very clearly on a different plane of existence than the rest of the people in the Shaskeen pub. And that's okay. You could tell that he was a very talented person, but it was just like, whoa, what are you doing? And like, I remember there was just one point where I had like looked up at the stage and I like made direct eye contact with Myth, and I was like, So anyways, like,
time's up. Let's go. Keep it moving. Time's up.
I think you told me that story.
Pass the mic.
You're so kind. I remember how you were telling the story. You were telling the story the same way. You're like, he was having an outer body. I'm like, so he was like tripping on shrooms, like he was.
No, he was. There was definitely a substance involved. Yeah. Don't know what it was, and he definitely was not in a shared reality, and that's okay. I'm not judging that man.
Sure, no. Yeah.
To each his own.
Made for some great people watching.
I could see, and that's the other thing. I could never. Sometimes I think about it, like maybe I can smoke weed again, but it's probably not a thought I should be thinking of. And I did mushrooms to celebrate a year of sobriety. That's like that, but that's a part of the joke too, because it's not partying. It's like it's a different thing, and it helps people with anxiety and alcohol, and that's my joke. Like it was not enjoyable for me at all. It was the worst fucking thing in the world. Like I was.
When did you do this?
May, I think it was, and it was like. I don't even know if I want to tell this story. It's a joke. It's a joke. Like my buddy is so loving, right? He's just like a very kind person, and I'm like, yo, I don't think I can do this. And he's like, Sean, you've taken the shrooms. I've taken the shrooms, and I'm not going to name the other guy. He's also taken the shrooms. We're not on this journey together, but I assure you, your daughter loves you. I love you. and this guy loves you, but and I'm like, but I'm seeing things, and he's like, and you're not gonna see things. I'm like, I'm like, if I know what I'm seeing is not reality, then how do I know what's happening in reality? Like, how do I know that I just didn't take my dick out? Like, he's like, it's not. He's like, it's not. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, I know it. I know it's not. And I'm just like, this is too uncomfortable of an experience for me to ever do this again. The only thing that I came out of that was like the camaraderie of loving my buddies more. And my buddy, my other good buddy, he's like the guy I would drink with. Like, we would party, like we would drink and smoke all the time. And he's just this rough Haitian dude. He's just like, I'd go to the bathroom because you know, like when you drink too much, or you party too much, you want the water to sober up and stuff. And I go in the bathroom and I'm turning on the shower. And it's like, bro, what are you doing in here? Why do you keep turning on the shower? And I'm like, I gotta sober up. He's like, it doesn't work like that, man. You didn't have too much yak. You didn't drink too much. And I'm like, he's like, get the fuck out of my bathroom. He's like, this is not, you just gotta wait it out. You just gotta wait it out.
Oh, no.
And it was a trip, no pun intended, but it was just like, this is why it helps anxious and drunk people, because you're like, I'm not touching another substance ever again. Like, this just ensured my path with God and my sobriety. Like, it was just, I don't even know how the hell we got here, guys, but that was
That
my
is,
experience.
I'm sorry to laugh at your pain, but that's so funny. Oh my
It's funny, yeah. It's a good joke. There's a dick joke in there. There's just like drugs. It's good. It's
So
material.
needless to say, did you ruin everyone else's trip?
No, because they were high on mushrooms too, so they like in another world. They're like,
Oh my
bro,
God.
we can't help you. We're on our own trip.
Oh my God, that's
All
so
we can
funny.
do is tell you we've done this before. And like my buddy, I'm like, hey, he's like, dude, I'm lost in this photo of Cape Cod right now. Like, he's like, you'll be okay.
He was on the Cape.
And
Yeah.
then like,
He's on the beach.
She's like, I'm on the Cape right now.
and then
If you
somehow I come out of it before them, who've done it before. I'm like, do you guys want anything? Do you want me to make some food? Like, do you need something? 'Cause somehow the little guy who's never done it, like, it's coming out of it sooner. And it was just kind of like watching them. They're just completely indulged and enjoying it. I'm like, oh, I fucking hate that.
I fucking hate that. Well, thank you for sharing that experience. It was,
Yeah, there was
Not
a
enjoyable
lot
for you,
of
but-
vulnerability in that story.
That was very enjoyable for me. Thank you.
I thought I told you that before. Okay. It's a long one for text.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm back.
Oh, you off now? You off the shows?
And scene.
I'm still not over that, and I won't be for a little while. That was funny.
What?
Nothing. You're giving me wrap-up energy, so I don't know.
I'm just here.
Oh, maybe I'm giving you wrap-up energy.
Maybe.
Okay.
How's the back? Perfect. Wrap it up. Let's go. Girls gotta move.
You are lovely, gentlemen. I have loved being here with you.
This was fun.
But the girls
Let me come on.
We appreciate you coming on.
Yes, no, thank you for that. I
Seriously,
appreciate it.
this was cool. This was
Nice
cool.
environment. I sat down. You guys are having cups of warm tea. It was just so inquisitive. The autumn weather that's coming. I just felt welcomed right away. I just
Well,
loved it here.
It's
It was
great to have you. I definitely thought you would be a wonderful person to have on. So thank you for being a part of it.
Yeah, thanks for encouraging me. And it's been a great conversation.
Oh,
It's
how can
been
people
good
follow
meeting
you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So my page on Instagram, I will be making it public. It's Shobert MC84, or you can just put in Shawn McGrail. I do have a real estate page, but for the purposes of comedy and art, that's it. Shobert MC, or just look up Shawn McGrail. You'll find it.
And that's SHAWN.
SHA. Yes, thank you for making. Yeah,
That's
I
true.
completely
That's true.
forgot that
Got
there's
you.
too many spellings of that name.
That's true. That's true.
Sure.
Good
Got
catch.
you.
Good catch. Well, like I said, appreciate you coming on, taking the time to come through. Shout out to MOCG, 41st Studios. God bless everybody that's been tuning in, watching. Appreciate all of y'all. Shout out to L.Y.F E, who's not here. Definitely wish him, just continue to push forward in everything that he's doing in music and life. Literally, no pun intended.
No, I'm in his seat today.
Yeah, we miss him. Can't wait to have him back next week. Shout out to Crispy, who is also not here, but making big moves on his own right now. So shout out to him as well too. Very important things. So people taking care of themselves, not, and I'm not even saying in bad ways, you know what I mean? Like, not that there are bad things going on, but just people taking care of themselves. We all need those moments. So shout out to them for focusing on those things as well too. Appreciate everybody. But until next time, my name is Jay Faith.
I'm Kayla.
And we got
Shawn M.
And this is the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast. We'll catch y'all next time. What's up?